The idea of Introduction to Historical Narratives of Ancient Egypt invites us to explore the varied accounts and interpretations that shape our understanding of ancient Egypt's history. Historical narratives are essentially the stories and interpretations created by historians to convey the events and lifestyles of past civilizations. These narratives are not purely factual accounts. They are influenced by the perspectives and biases of the historians and the socio-political context in which they are written. This notion is significant in the context of historians lied to you about ancient Egypt, because it underscores the potential for misrepresentation or oversimplification in the popular history of this ancient civilization. One key example illustrating this point is the perception of the pyramids. For centuries, it was widely believed that the pyramids were built by slave labor. However, recent archaeological evidence suggests that they were constructed by a workforce of skilled laborers who were respected and well cared for. This challenges previously held narratives and highlights how interpretations can evolve with new evidence. Another example is the depiction of Cleopatra. Traditionally painted as a seductress who used her charm to wield power, recent research suggests she was also a shrewd and effective leader with significant intellectual prowess. Such shifts in understanding demonstrate how narratives are subject to revision. Opinions supporting the examination of historical narratives argue that understanding history's complexity leads to a more nuanced view of the past. Scholars like Dr. Sarah Parkak advocate for the use of satellite imagery to uncover truths about ancient Egypt, suggesting that technological advances can break through the limitations of conventional historical methods and rectify inaccuracies in accepted narratives. However, this approach is not without challenges. One major controversy is that revising historical narratives can often be met with resistance by those who have a vested interest in maintaining established views, potentially due to national pride or cultural identity. Further, alternative viewpoints highlight that every generation might bring its own biases to reinterpretations, leading to new inaccuracies. In exploring historical narratives, we connect to the broader theme of the topic: how historical inaccuracies or lies might shape our understanding of ancient Egypt. This reflection prompts a more critical engagement with history, encouraging us to question what we accept as truth. By acknowledging the fluidity and context dependence of historical narratives, we become more open to revisiting other potentially distorted aspects of ancient Egyptian history. This aspect fundamentally influences our perception of the past and informs how we construct contemporary cultural identities. The heading Common Misconceptions and Their Origins delves into widely held but inaccurate beliefs about ancient Egypt that have been perpetuated over time, often due to historical biases, outdated research, or cultural misunderstandings. This concept is essential to the broader topic. Historians lied to you about ancient Egypt because it challenges the established narratives and invites reconsideration of what we accept as historical truth. Misconceptions about ancient Egypt include the belief that the pyramids were built by enslaved people. Modern archaeological evidence suggests that these laborers were likely skilled workers and not slaves, which significantly alters our understanding of Egyptian society and its values. Another example is the pervasive image of Cleopatra as primarily a seductress. However, historical records depict her as a shrewd leader and diplomat. These misconceptions shape our view of gender roles and labor dynamics in ancient societies, highlighting the necessity to question and revise historical accounts. The significance of dispelling such myths lies in generating a more accurate portrayal of ancient Egypt's social, political, and technological achievements. Recognizing and addressing these inaccuracies provides a comprehensive understanding of the civilization and its contributions to human history. It underscores the importance of using contemporary methods, such as advanced archaeology and interdisciplinary research, to reinterpret historical data. Some opinions suggest that these misconceptions were propagated intentionally or inadvertently by early historians and Egyptologists who interpreted evidence through a Eurocentric lens. This has led to a skewed narrative that often diminished non-Western accomplishments and influenced education systems globally, perpetuating these falsehoods. However, challenging these traditional views does not come without controversy. Some scholars argue that the reinterpretation of historical evidence could be influenced by modern biases or sensationalism, leading to debates about the credibility of new findings. Others emphasize that these misconceptions might stem from a lack of comprehensive records, requiring historians to fill gaps with informed speculation. This examination of misconceptions connects to other elements of the main topic by encouraging a broader conversation about historical integrity and the role of historians in shaping public consciousness. Exploring these myths compels us to scrutinize how history is taught and remembered, influencing cultural perceptions and potentially altering the global historical narrative. By recognizing these pitfalls, we foster critical thinking and promote a more nuanced appreciation of ancient Egypt, encouraging an ongoing dialogue about the complexities of interpreting history. Questioning the sources, analyzing archaeological evidence, involves critically examining the variety and validity of archaeological sources to understand the narratives surrounding ancient Egypt. This process is crucial because it helps determine the accuracy of historical understandings that have been passed down through generations, understandings that historians or early archaeologists might have skewed due to biases, misinterpretations, or limited technological capability. One of the significant aspects of this point is its role in challenging traditionally accepted narratives about ancient Egypt. For decades, historical accounts derived from archaeological findings have shaped our perceptions of Egyptian civilization's grandeur, religion, and societal structure. By questioning these sources, we might uncover overlooked truths or misrepresentations that reveal a more nuanced picture of ancient Egyptian life. For instance, Howard Carter's discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922 was a pivotal moment in Egyptology. However, it is crucial to remember that Carter's interpretation of the findings was influenced by the context of his era, which might not align with contemporary understandings. Similarly, the Great Pyramid of Giza has been subject to intense scrutiny, with evolving technological methods allowing researchers to detect previously hidden chambers, suggesting that earlier conclusions about the pyramid's construction and purpose could be incomplete or inaccurate. Supporting this idea, some scholars argue for a more interdisciplinary approach that combines insights from cutting-edge technology, such as satellite imaging and advanced dating methods, with traditional archaeology to paint a fuller picture of ancient societies. This broadens our understanding and may even rectify misconceptions perpetuated by early historians who possibly idealized or melodramatized ancient cultures. Nonetheless, this process is not without its challenges. Some traditional Egyptologists question the validity of applying modern technology and contemporary values to ancient contexts, arguing that such practices could lead to misinterpretations. Others resist revisiting established narratives as it may entail admitting foundational oversights in their field. However, revisiting archaeological evidence does not solely serve to disprove prior findings. Rather, it enriches our evolving understanding of history. By acknowledging and analyzing potential biases and inaccuracies, we shed light on the complexity of historical narratives. This endeavor influences broader contemplations on how we interpret historical events and figures, encouraging a continual re-evaluation of truths as our methodologies evolve. This approach challenges audiences to remain critical thinkers, ensuring that prevailing narratives are reflective of the closest truths available, rather than static tales from the past. Revisiting dynastic timelines and cultural milestones delves into the re-evaluation of the chronological ordering and significant events within ancient Egyptian history. Traditional timelines often present a linear progression of dynasties and cultural achievements based on archaeological records, written documents, and sometimes speculative inferences. This re-examination seeks to uncover inaccuracies or oversimplifications that may have arisen from misinterpretations, biases, or even deliberate distortions in the historical narrative. The significance of this point lies in its potential to reshape our understanding of ancient Egypt's complexity. By challenging established timelines, historians and archaeologists can provide a more nuanced picture, thereby altering widely held perceptions. One prominent example is the debate over the start of Egypt's first dynasty. Conventional timelines rely heavily on the interpretations of Manetho, a 3rd century BCE Egyptian priest whose chronology is now questioned due to discrepancies with carbon dating results. Another example is the reappraisal of the influence of foreign cultures like the Nubians and Hyksos on Egyptian civilization. These groups were once perceived as invaders, but are now increasingly recognized for their cultural exchange and contributions, suggesting a more integrated cosmopolitan society than previously thought. Scholars such as David Roll argue that the conventional chronology needs redating, proposing a timeline that drastically shortens the perceived gaps between events. Roll's revised chronology aims to resolve inconsistencies and overlaps in archaeological findings, but it has sparked debate among Egyptologists. Challenges to revising these timelines include the methodological difficulty of disproving long-accepted frameworks and the tendency of new theories to be met with skepticism from the academic establishment. Additionally, political and nationalistic influences historically skewed perceptions, often portraying Egypt as either a culturally isolated entity or a victim of outside transformation. This concept relates closely to the main topic of historical misinformation about ancient Egypt. By addressing the inaccuracies in dynastic timelines and cultural milestones, we can reassess other historical narratives that arise from these timelines, such as the leadership styles of pharaohs or the development of Egyptian technology and art. Ultimately, revisiting these timelines not only enhances historical accuracy, but also fosters a deeper appreciation of ancient Egypt's role in global history, encouraging an appreciation for the multifaceted interactions that have shaped its enduring legacy.